Smiling is a big factor here.
Okay.
People like friendly faces.
That comes pretty natural to me.
Hey, good morning. It's the Florida Bike Guy. So how does one person change the lives of over 1,000 children? You know, this is the wonderful story of a person with an idea who acted upon it. Meet Kathy Downs. Kathy, say hello. How are you doing?
Hey.
So Kathy works, has a full-time job, lives and works in the Orlando area. And tell us what you're doing as the bike fairy.
So I take donations of gently used bikes. In my garage, we work on them, put new tubes, adjust brakes, new grips, whatever they need. And then those bikes are repurposed to foster children throughout Orange County.
All right, so you're actually making this call from work this morning, right?
Yes, right.
You've asked your coworkers to hold down the conversation behind you until we finish.
Yes.
I appreciate them and I appreciate you doing that. So tell our viewers, how is it that you got started doing this? It's a pretty simple story.
So I became a volunteer advocate for children, and that is to support the guardian ad litem attorneys. I would take a case for 12 months, do the home visits, and be the child's advocate with how they're feeling, what their needs are, and communicating that to their guardian ad litem attorneys, caseworkers, and the court system.
Okay. And how is it that you got started, like with the bike giveaway?
So I'm a cyclist, and I think everybody should be on a bike all the time, quite honestly. I visited with a 9-year-old girl. She was being housed with her grandmother. And I saw a bike in the garage, and it had a torn up seat, 2 flat tires, the chain and drive chain was really rusty. So I realized that she could use a better bike. I put a posting on the Nextdoor app and asked my neighbors, did anybody have a bike they wanted to donate to a 9-year-old girl? Then I got 6. I told the other 5 people, I have a home for mine, but we've got well over 1,000 children in dependency. I knew that at Legal Aid, we could find homes for those bikes. And then when Legal Aid realized I was somebody that could get bikes, I started getting special requests. Child that was maybe picked up by DCF who had a birthday the next day, things like that. And so the requests started coming in. My request out to the community started increasing, and this thing has taken on a life of its own.
So, when did all this begin? You've done this.
It was right. It started in April of 2017.
So how many bikes have you actually managed to repurpose and give away in the last 24 months?
Probably right around 1,600.
1,600 bikes. This is you. All right, and then tell me who's involved in this process. That's you and I know you have a partner who works with you.
Yeah. So Victor and I have switched our garage pretty much into a bike shop. It's a 3-car garage. We can sometimes get 1 car in there. There's repaired bikes. There's bikes to be repaired and looked at. He picks up bikes, as do I. People drop off bikes to our place. When the kids come with foster parents, caseworkers, or attorneys, I get him in the garage and he's making adjustments on seats, teaching kids how to use gears that they haven't used, that sort of thing. Another big person in this effort is Dan Whitney. He used to own Lake Mary Bike Shop. He's an avid cyclist, used to race a lot. He's retired now, and he works on bikes all the time in the garage. I mean, he's just amazing. Bethany Barber is the director of the Guardian ad litem program in Orange County. She actually happens to live in my neighborhood. I didn't know that when I first met her. And she organizes her staff for semi-annual events that we do, and just, supports me in every way, because I don't know who all the foster kids are, but her office handles every one of those legal cases. And so I coordinate everything through her and her staff.
So did they come to you? I mean, are you finding children who need bikes, or are they coming to you with the kids?
They come to me with the kids. So that was how the original part started. Then I met with one of the directors of Orange County Public Schools, Dr. Prince LeBeau. And he then coordinated, and we would set up an evening every 2 weeks. The principals of every school in Orange County were invited to identify foster children in their schools. And he would come out to my house on a set night, and then the foster parents would bring the kids out. The kids would be able to select their own bike. And then when in Bethany's office, an attorney or a caseworker identifies a child, they'll come on the weekend or after work one day and select a bike for their child. Sometimes they can bring the child with them.
So if you're doing you've done 1,600 bikes, that's 800 bikes a year, basically. You're giving, and there's only 300 days, 365 days in a year. So you're giving away almost 2 bikes a day. Sue, how are you? Sue Mose checked in. Glad you joined us. So you're giving almost 2 bikes away a day, right? This is the constant stream of people coming to you and getting Victor and Bethany and getting this done.
Yes. Well, we have settled into 2 semi-annual events. One is held in December, and one of my clients, Conair Industries, offers up a part of their warehouse, and the Recyclery Group, which is another nonprofit up in Longwood that provides bikes to homeless and vets and other organizations. They do the logistics of moving bikes from my garage to Conair, and we typically have 250 bikes, and then those bikes are given out. The influx of bikes was so great. We've also started doing one in June so that we can get kids on bikes over the course of the summer to enjoy. So on those events, it's a lot.
Yeah, so you're giving the biggest majority of them are coming at your semi-annual events. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The other thing that we do is when we have a group home that wants bikes for kids, it may be that there are 14 or 16 either boys or girls. I have to wait until I get enough adult-sized bikes in whatever gender it is, and then the group home will come with a bunch of trucks because it's an all-or-nothing situation when we're supplying them.
So a lot of people, Kathy, maybe have heard of the foster system, but don't have any idea how it works or how large the issue is in Orange County. So why are kids in foster care, and why is this important?
Children enter the foster system as a result of abuse, abandonment, or neglect. And it's always as a result of a police action where children are removed from the home. And I can tell you, I read the cases. It's never good. It's never mild. It's always horrific, to be honest. So kids are quickly removed. They will either go to a relative, or they'll go to a foster family, or they'll be taken to a group home. That's where they go. And then in Orange County, the goal is within 12 months that permanency is established. That means either the child is reunited back into the family and there's supervision and things are working, the parents are getting help, the kids are being, looked after, or their parental rights can be terminated. The children are then permanently in the foster care system with foster parents. Sometimes that means that they move around a number of times, or they'll go to a relative or several relatives or a group home.
Right. Yeah, and and this is a traumatic event. I mean, these kids are living their life. They've been abused, abandoned, or neglected, and then suddenly law enforcement swoops in, they're removed from the house, and they don't get to take much of anything with them in these situations. Okay?
Absolutely. They may be able to grab a couple pieces of clothing. That's it. So even if the child had a bike, the bike is not going with them when they're removed. Yeah. Many of them don't have a bike. I can tell you, I meet kids who are 10, 12 years old who have never had a bike.
Right. Yeah. I know we give away bikes through our practice every year through Christmas, but these are we're buying new bikes for kids. I think it's incredible. You've continued to have a supply of used bikes, so these are not bikes you're buying. This is not a high budget process.
So this is just someone who can help develop it.
No, it's not at all. You know, if you think
So will
about
there be
your own personal family, kids outgrow bikes before they wear them out to a large extent. And so, you know, the smaller the bike, the more often it's being circulated. I also have retirees who have nice beach cruisers and mountain bikes, and they're just not comfortable riding them anymore. So, you know, they're garage kept, they're in great shape. When I'm taking bikes, I do say to people, look, I don't have a way to remove the rust, or if the bike is really beat up, it's not appropriate for our kids. They're not secondhand kids getting what's perceived to be secondhand bikes. When the kids come, honestly, they have no idea. They're not looking at 100% new bikes. That's what it feels like and looks like to them.
Right. Well, I think, and talk about just the impression that a child has when someone like you or those helping you step forward and do something for them only. It's only for them. You know, it's like something that they are getting special. How does that affect them?
Oh, I think it makes them feel like a kid again. It lifts the weight of the problems of all of the horrible things that have been happening to them. I think they believe, wow, you know, maybe people love me. Maybe people care. Maybe I matter. So it's a huge impact on the kids. And very often when the kids go to maybe an aunt or an uncle or grandparents, there might be other kids in the family, and they have to borrow somebody's bike if they want to ride a bike. So this way they get their very own bike that we hope will travel with them to wherever they happen to go. The other thing that we do, and Bethany and I discussed this at the beginning, sometimes foster kids will go into a situation where the biological children in the home don't have their own bike.
Right.
When that happens and they come out to pick out a bike, everybody leaves with a bike. The biological kids get a bike too.
Okay, wonderful. So I had a question. Describe sort of, you touched on the foster process. How big of an issue is this in Orange County, and how big of an issue is it statewide in terms of the number of kids in foster care?
Orange County alone, we have, I just have gotten the statistics as of this week, 1,737 children in foster care in Orange County. The state of Florida, there are over 37,000 children in the foster system. It's a huge number.
It's a huge number. And what is your desire? You know, we're doing this message today. What is your desire to have someone do who maybe?
I know. Trust me, I started at 29,000. So I get you.
So what I would like to see happen is through your viewership, I'd like every county in the state of Florida to have the advocate like me, because I really am just coordinating. Because I'll be honest, Jim, people who have bikes that their kids aren't using absolutely are thrilled that those bikes are going into the hands of foster kids. They don't know how to reach those kids. They don't know where they are. And so the intermediary person who accepts the bikes, who has the relationship with the guardian ad litem of that particular county and the cycling community, because that's where the mechanics come from, a person to put that together in every state. I think, it would be an amazing thing in the state of Florida if the cycling community could come together and every foster kid within a couple of weeks of being pulled into dependency had a bike. Would be absolutely amazing.
Right. I applaud you. I'm really touched by your willingness to volunteer. You told me you and Victor have between 50 and 150 or 200 bikes in your garage at any one time.
Yeah.
It is a real commitment, but I mean, it's amazing what you're doing, and I just applaud you. And I would urge anyone who's listening to this today or may listen to it on the replay, get in touch with Kathy if you have questions. We're sharing your email, Kathy, if that's all right.
Sure.
And, you know,
Is
her
that
hope and
like
her
a
dream is that somebody out there, even one person who will pick this up and do it in one of our counties would be a huge win.
that dynamic?
We're going to look at it here as well. Is there anything else you'd like to leave our viewers before we sign off?
And then
The only thing I would also say is if you don't have a bike to share, there is a tremendous need for volunteer advocates for children. What that commitment is, you go through a state of Florida background check, and you will do monthly visits and a follow-up report and meet with a child in that 12 months from the time that they're removed from the home until permanency is established. You know, if we have retirees, retired school teachers, nurses, social workers, but in reality, the only skill you need to help these kids is that you care about them. And, you know, think about it. If you had children of your own, you have parenting skills, you have instincts, so you could do that. And there's a real need.
Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate it. I applaud. I hope that someone's heart is going to be touched who's watching this program or will watch it on the replay, and that what you're doing can be replicated in other counties in Florida. Thank you so much, Kathy, for joining us today.
Thanks for the forum.
And thank your coworkers for kind of hold down the volume. They've been real cooperative.
Okay.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right. So this is Jim Dodson, the Florida Bike Guy. If I can help you with any type of an accident-related injury or question about biking, reach out to us at floridabikeguy.com. Kathy, have a great day.